If there's one motorcycle that can take you back in time while still keeping you right in the middle of today's roads, it's the Royal Enfield Bullet 350. This isn't just a motorcycle, it's a legend on two wheels. Whether you're a seasoned rider or someone new to the game, the Bullet 350 holds a special place in the heart of every motorcycling enthusiast. Today we're going to break down everything you need to know about this iconic beast. So stick around, because by the end of this video, you might just find yourself wanting one of these timeless machines in your garage. History legacy. Now, before we dive into what the Bullet 350 is today, let's rewind a bit. Royal Enfield Bullet has been around for over 7 decades. Yes, you heard that right. The Royal Enfield Bullet was first introduced in 1932, and back then, it was designed as a rugged workhorse. Over the years, it's been the go-to bike for everything from daily commutes to military service, and unlike a lot of bikes that fade out over time, the Bullet has stood the test of time, constantly evolving while still holding on to its classic charm. It's like the motorcycle version of fine wine. It just keeps getting better with age. And even though technology has advanced like crazy, the Bullet has held on to its timeless appeal. In fact, it's one of the longest-running production motorcycles in the world. That's legendary status, folks. And that thumping exhaust note? It's been the signature sound of this bike for decades. It's no wonder that, even today, when you hear that deep, rhythmic thump, you know exactly what's coming down the road. A Royal Enfield. The Bullet 350 isn't just a bike that's been around forever. It's a cultural icon, a part of motorcycling heritage that connects the past to the present. Whether it's the old-school charm or the unbeatable reliability, this bike has earned its place in history, and it's still making waves today. Design and aesthetics. Alright, let's talk about the design. Because if there's one thing the Royal Enfield Bullet 350 nails, it's that perfect blend of old-school charm with a touch of modernity. Just look at it, it's like a piece of art on two wheels. Classic, timeless, and unmistakable. First off, you've got this iconic teardrop fuel tank. Bold, beautifully simple, and stamped with the Royal Enfield badge that instantly makes you feel like you're part of something legendary. And don't forget those pinstripes. They're hand-painted, by the way. Yep, hand-painted. Now check out that headlamp. It's big, round, and unapologetically retro. Paired with these wide handlebars, the Bullet 350 screams vintage cool without trying too hard. It's like riding a piece of history, but with the comfort of today's tech. And when you're on this bike, you feel like you're on something sturdy and reliable. The upright seating position, the simple lines, everything about it takes you back to a time when bikes weren't about flash, but about pure, unfiltered riding pleasure. That's the essence of the Bullet 350. In a world full of hyper-modern, tech-heavy bikes, the Royal Enfield Bullet 350 holds its own by staying true to its roots. The design is classic, yet functional. It's simple, yet striking. And that's why it continues to be a favorite among purists who appreciate the beauty of a well-designed motorcycle. Engine and performance. Alright, now let's get to the heart of this machine, the engine. Because let's face it, no motorcycle is complete without an engine that packs a punch. And the Royal Enfield Bullet 350, while not the most powerful bike out there, is all about that classic thump and reliable performance. So what are we looking at here? This is a single-cylinder, 349cc key air-cooled engine. It produces about 19.1 horsepower and 19.9 pound-feet of torque. Now, I know what you're thinking, that doesn't sound like a lot compared to the modern sport bikes, but let me tell you, this engine isn't about speed. It's about that signature Enfield ride, a relaxed, smooth thump that makes every ride feel like a cruise through time. And speaking of that thump, that low-end torque really kicks in when you're cruising at lower speeds, which is where the Bullet 350 shines. This engine is built for steady, easy rides, whether you're navigating city streets or taking the long way home through the countryside. Plus, there's that exhaust note. You don't ride this bike to be the fastest on the road, you ride it to hear that legendary thump. It's like the motorcycle's heartbeat, instantly recognizable and loved by riders worldwide. And what about the real-world performance? The Bullet 350 might not be built for high-speed thrills, but it's perfect for what it's designed for: steady, reliable riding. With its torquey low end, this bike gives you that satisfying pull every time you twist the throttle. It's perfect for city commutes or long, relaxing highway cruises. So, while it's not the fastest bike in the world, the Bullet 350 gives you something more: a pure, unhurried riding experience with just enough power to keep you going comfortably. It's all about enjoying the journey, not rushing to the destination. Riding comfort and ergonomics. Alright, now let's talk comfort, because if you're riding a Bullet 350, chances are you're not in a rush. This bike is all about those long, laid-back rides, and comfort is key. Luckily, Royal Enfield has nailed it with this one. First off, the seat. It's wide, it's cushy, and it's got plenty of room for you and a passenger. This isn't one of those bikes where you feel like you're perched on a stool for hours on end. Nope, on the Bullet 350, you're sitting on what feels like a comfy chair, perfect for those long highway cruises. The riding position is as classic as it gets, upright and relaxed. With a seat height of around 31.6 inches, it's accessible to most riders, even shorter ones, and the wide handlebars mean you're not reaching forward or bending over. It's a posture that keeps your back and shoulders relaxed, which is essential for those long-distance rides. Now let's talk about the suspension. You've got telescopic front forks and twin rear shock absorbers. It's not going to glide over massive potholes like a full-on adventure bike, but for city streets and well-paved highways, it's more than adequate. You get a nice, smooth ride without feeling every bump in the road. This bike was built to handle both city commutes and countryside cruises. Whether you're hopping from light to light in the city or taking it easy on a weekend road trip, the Bullet 350 keeps you comfortable, no matter where the road takes you. In short, the Bullet 350 is designed for comfort. With its upright posture, cushy seat, and smooth ride, it's perfect for those who want to enjoy the journey without rushing through it. Handling and braking. Now, when it comes to handling, the Royal Enfield Bullet 350 might surprise you. Sure, it's got that classic, laid-back design, but this bike is more than capable of handling itself on a variety of terrains. Let's start with the handling. The Bullet 350 isn't built to be a nimble sports bike, but for its size and weight, it holds up pretty well. The steel tubular frame provides a solid, stable ride, and with a wheelbase of around 53 inches, you get a good sense of balance. Whether you're cruising on open highways or weaving through city traffic, the bike remains composed. When cornering, it's not going to zip around like a sport bike, but for a cruiser, it feels surprisingly light on its feet. The bike's low center of gravity helps you stay in control, even when you're taking those tighter turns. It's smooth, predictable, and doesn't feel like it's going to tip over at low speeds. Now, let's talk braking. The Royal Enfield Bullet 350 comes with a 280mm disc brake up front, paired with a rear drum brake. It's not the most high-tech setup you'll find, but it gets the job done. And to make things even better, you've got single-channel ABS on the front wheel. That's a nice touch for added safety, especially when you're dealing with wet or slippery roads. When you need to stop, the front disc does most of the heavy lifting, and it's got enough bite to bring the bike to a halt without any drama. The rear drum brake is decent for controlling your speed, though it's not as strong as a disc setup would be. Overall, the braking system works well for the kind of riding this bike is meant for cruising, not racing. And let's not forget the tires. With 19-inch front and 18-inch rear wheels, you get good grip and stability. These tires are designed to give you that classic cruiser feel, with a bit of versatility thrown in. Whether you're rolling over smooth highways or bumpy streets, the Bullet 350 holds its line with confidence. Features and technology. Alright, so we've covered the looks, the ride, and the performance, but what about the features? The Bullet 350 isn't trying to overwhelm you with high-tech gadgets. That's not its style. But for a bike that thrives on simplicity, it still has enough modern touches to make your rides convenient and enjoyable. First off, let's check out the instrument cluster. It's got this old-school vibe with an analog speedometer, which just feels right for this bike. No flashy screens, no overcomplicated displays, just the basics. You've got your speed, your odometer, and a trip meter, simple and functional like the bike itself. Now, for starting up, you've got both electric start and kickstart options. Then, you've got this traditional round headlamp. It's not LED, just a halogen bulb, but it's bright enough for most conditions and keeps the retro vibe going. If you're riding at night or through foggy conditions, it'll give you decent visibility without overcomplicating things. And don't forget the exhaust. Royal Enfield stuck with the iconic pea-shooter exhaust, which not only looks cool but gives that signature thumping sound. It's tuned to be Euro 5 compliant, so you get that classic roar while keeping emissions in check. Now, let's talk practicality. The Bullet 350 doesn't have a ton of storage space. There's no underseat storage or fancy compartments. But the wide, long seat means you can easily add a rear rack or saddlebags if you want to carry more on your adventures. It's a bike that's ready for customization if you want to add your own personal touch. At the end of the day, the Bullet 350 keeps things simple. No over-the-top features, no complex electronics, just the essentials for a good ride. And in a world where motorcycles are getting more tech-heavy by the day, there's something refreshing about that. Final thoughts and conclusion. Alright, we've covered a lot about the Royal Enfield Bullet 350, its history, design, performance, and more. So, what's the final verdict? Here's the thing, the Bullet 350 is not just a motorcycle, it's a piece of history. It embodies the classic look and feel of motorcycling, offering a unique riding experience that's hard to find in today's market. It's perfect for those who appreciate vintage aesthetics and a laid-back, relaxed ride. On the road, the Bullet 350 provides a comfortable and enjoyable ride. The classic thump of the engine, the easy handling, and the upright seating position all contribute to a riding experience that's both nostalgic and satisfying. It's not about speed or high-tech features, it's about enjoying the journey and connecting with the heritage of motorcycling. If you're looking for a bike that stands out from the crowd, one that offers a slice of motorcycling history and a genuine connection to the past, the Royal Enfield Bullet 350 is definitely worth considering. It's a classic for a reason, and it's sure to bring a smile to your face every time you ride. So, that's it for today's review of the Royal Enfield Bullet 350. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more motorcycle content. Ride safe, and I'll see you in the next one.